In the first section of our course, I want to discuss with you a very important topic, which is the roles that are included in any software development company. So you are going to work as a software tester and you are going to join a software development team. You will find many roles inside this team. Someone might be called the business analyst, the product owner. You might find a front-end developer, back-end developer, and so on. And you might not be knowing who are those people, what are their responsibilities, and what is your relationship with them. Okay, so during our course, we will discuss each one of them, how will you deal with them, but at the beginning, I need to give you a broad knowledge about all those roles, what do they do, and how to deal with them. And I will begin discussing them with the same order that happens in any project. We didn't discuss the software development lifecycle yet, but in any project, mostly you begin by writing the requirements, then you begin by creating the design, then you write the code. So I will go in the same chronological order. So the first role that we have is the requirements engineer. And the word requirements engineer means that any person who deals with requirements, the person who gathers the requirements and analyzes them. So mostly in most companies, you will not find someone who is called requirements engineer. Okay, you will find either a product owner or a business analyst, and then I will clarify the difference between both of them. So the requirements engineer is considered as the link between the client and the IT side team. So what do we mean by this? Let's imagine that there is a client who needs to create a food ordering application. So this client comes to our company and says, okay, I want to create this application. My company begins working on creating this application. But my team includes software developers and testers, of course. They are not very efficient in gathering the requirements and discussing them with the client. So here the requirements engineer is considered as this link. He gets those requirements from the client and delivers them to the software team. So like we said, we will have the business analyst or the product owner. So who is the business analyst? Like we see, he analyzes the business. So this person sits with the customer, he gathers the requirements with many techniques like qualitative interviews and quantitative interviews and other methodologies and techniques that he is specialized in. So what is your role as a software tester? You might be sitting together with the business analyst while the requirements are written so that you review them. You need to find any ambiguities in them. You might find some contradictions. Some two requirements might tell the developers to do things that are contradictory with each other. And also, the requirements that are written and gathered by the business analyst will influence your testing tasks. So the tester mostly will create something that's called test scenarios or test cases. So in order to generate those scenarios or cases, you need the requirements that are written by the business analyst. Also, in order to execute your test cases and find defects, you need to make sure that what is happening in the application is the same as what the customer wants, okay, or as what is written inside the requirements. So if they are the same, this means that the software doesn't include a defect. But if there is a difference between them, this means that we have a defect and we should write something that's called a defect report. The same role is called product owner in Agile teams. So later in our course, we will discuss something that's called Agile methodologies or Agile software development. And this is a special type of software development projects. So in those projects, the product owner replaces the business analyst, mostly. In some companies, we have both roles, product owner and the business analyst. And in some companies, the product owner takes both roles, okay? So the product owner, like his name states, he owns the product, okay? He gets the requirements from the client and writes something that's called a product backlog and user stories in order to satisfy the customer requirements. So like we said, in some projects, we have two stages. First, the business analyst gathers the requirements and writes something that's called SRS or PRD, and then delivers those requirements to the product owner who delivers them to the development team. So those are the two main roles that are related to gathering and writing the requirements.